guys, welcome to another episode of the Top Producers Nation podcast. This, of course, is the podcast that is made for agents who desire to be or who are operating as top producers in their desired market. We, of course, are powered locally by Tampa Bay Real Producers here in Tampa, Florida. And we work with the top 500 producing agents in our local market to feature them and get their stories out there. And as you know, we have a local partner series that supports us in that particular platform. And today, one of our guests is one of those preferred partners of Tampa Bay Real Producers. That's none other than Mr. Calvin Darville with Comfortable Closing. So, Calvin, how you doing, brother?
Doing great. Appreciate you having me on the podcast. Hope I can drop some value, drop some gems.
I'm sure you will. Just by showing up the way you're dressed, you already added value, man. You class this place up.
Hey, man. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, got to bring the energy, man. Got to wake up.
Every time we have an event and Calvin's there, it classes up the joint, right? He's always the best dressed man in the room, and he did not disappoint with his outfit today. So it's good to have you on the show, Calvin.
Yes, sir.
Let's start a little bit just with your background for people who might not know anything yet about your story. And did you grow up in Tampa? If not, how'd you get to Tampa? And eventually, how'd you get interested in starting this business?
So originally I was born in Palm Beach, Florida, Wellington to be specific. I was born out there, played football my entire life since a kid. Always had a football in my hand. Football ended up leading me to Florida A&M University, where I like to tell people I majored in football. FAMU, baby. Just because that was my main focus. Just to be honest, I wasn't really there for school. I was there because football was my dream, and I wanted to make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
So played football.
Were you highly recruited?
Coming out of college or coming out of high school, no, I had some offers, but I ended up sending my film to FAMU, and they ended up giving me a scholarship to come and play there.
Nice, full scholarship.
Well, actually, I earned my scholarship when I got there.
Okay.
So I got they wanted me to come on, and then I earned the scholarship once I got there.
What position you play?
Defensive end.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Got there.
You're out there to hurt the quarterback. That was
your
goal.
I'm trying to wreck the quarterback. Yeah, I was telling a guy the other day, there's no better feeling as a defensive end when you come off that edge and you just got a clean shot on that quarterback. Oh my gosh, they
start drooling when they see those clean shots, right?
That's a beautiful thing. But nowadays you can't even hit the quarterback. You can't hit him high. You can't hit him low. Like you can't even.
I know
touch
it's
him.
a very different game than it was when I've been a football fan since my Giants won the Super Bowl back in 1986. That was my first game that I remember watching on TV with my dad, and that kind of hooked me to the sport. So I loved watching the game. Is definitely different now compared to what it was in the late 80s and the 90s. That's for sure.
Yeah. Back then you could actually hit people, but nonetheless, played football there for 4 years.
Yeah.
So I had a shot to actually go to the NFL. So when I got to college, I was 180 pounds soaking wet.
Wow.
By my senior season, I was 250. And then when I got to college, I was 6'3". By senior season, I'm 6'5".
Working hard in the gym. Huh?
Yeah, I grew 2 inches and put on like 70 pounds. So going into the first game, the LA Rams were there to see me play, and we're playing a team called Texas Southern.
Yeah. And
they flew to Tallahassee. We come out the gates, we're killing them. Got a sack, got a deflection, just we're killing them. And the fourth quarter, the coach takes the starters out. So we come out the game. And then a couple series later, my coach is like, "Hey, you want to go back in? Being a competitor." I'm like, "Yeah, of course, coach. I want to go back in." Go back in, come off the ball, pop my Achilles ends up tearing. Yeah, I go down.
What year in school were you then?
That was my senior year. First
game of the last year.
First game of the last year. Yeah.
Okay.
So end up tearing my Achilles. Still end up graduating, and then eventually I get into a little bit of real estate investing and wholesaling. And then I found out about the mobile closing industry, and I ended up moving to Tampa and starting my business.
Wow. Did you ever play football again?
Oh, no, that was it, man.
That was it. Yeah. Did you know early, after that injury, that was it? My career's going to be over?
Not really. When I look back on it, it was my first major injury like that.
Yeah.
I had a couple tweaks, pulled hamstrings, 8 bruises, but nothing where it was like a ligament or a tendon being torn. So that was my first major injury. And when it happened,
that must have been hard to deal with. I mean, it sounds like you had some pretty high hopes of maybe making it to the NFL. Was that a goal you had?
Oh yeah, that was my number one goal. And then once you tear your Achilles, you can't really walk.
Right.
That's the tendon that controls this movement of your foot.
Right.
So,
and as a defensive end, you have to be explosive.
Yeah. So that was the main thing. So it was just tough. mental, didn't have the right people around me. You know, if I, looking back on it, I feel like if I had, a better group of individuals around me, and just better training and just everything that goes along with it, I probably would have, came back. But
Mm.
it's all right. You know, everything happens for a reason.
That's true.
So,
God had a different plan for you, didn't he, Calvin?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you ended up, how quickly after that, you said you did finish school, you graduated there. And then what was your major of school? Football.
Football, man. Football. There's no point in even talking about it.
Wanting to go into business right away, or is that something that wasn't really on your radar?
Not at all, man. I was a knucklehead, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was in college hanging out. I was a guy, first 2 weeks of class, you didn't see me because I felt like those were the days that you could just skip because like everyone's like kind of switching classes. So kind of finesse the system. First 2 weeks you didn't see me. You'd see me every once in a while from there. And then the last 4 weeks I'm in the professor's office, trying to figure out how I can catch up.
Yeah.
So
when you graduated, you said, is that when you went into some real estate investing stuff?
Yeah, when I graduated, I got into wholesaling. Well, not as soon as I graduated. When I graduated, honestly, I kind of went into like a dark place because I lost football and I was out of school now. So I'm just hanging around Tallahassee, going to parties and stuff. And, I'm working like at Best Buy and I'm working this construction job. And I ended up finding out about real estate wholesaling at the construction job. I was literally moving wheelbarrows at the construction shop. The manager would have us pile these wheelbarrows up with bricks and then push the wheelbarrow 100 yards in the hot Tallahassee sun. And we end up going on break and I go on YouTube and I'm already thinking in my head, like, oh my goodness, like I got my degree in hand at this point. I'm like, dang, this is what life has come to. And then I go on YouTube. First video that pops up is how to make money in real estate, and it is talking about wholesale.
It was a wholesale ad. Yeah,
it was an ad, but it was actually a podcast.
Yeah, okay.
The guy was doing a podcast just like this, and he was talking about the business. It was Breakfast Club.
Okay,
and then he was selling the course, took the course, and that just kind of introduced me to this world of real estate.
Cool.
And
I've done a couple of wholesale courses over the years in my day as well, for sure.
Yeah.
I did a couple of wholesale deals.
Well, and you can make serious money wholesaling.
For sure.
Like there's people who make millions
without a doubt.
Like wholesaling.
They build entire businesses around.
Yeah, you can definitely build a business. But for me, the biggest thing was the education in the world. And we can go into this a little bit deeper, but being a black man and growing up in the black community, we don't have that type of education.
Right.
Nobody
ever exposed to it.
No exposure. Everyone in the black community either wants to play sports, drug dealing or entertaining. So I just never had, no one ever said anything about real estate. And this is a whole world where you can, this is, so I was talking to someone the other day, this is kind of the closest thing to sports for me.
Yeah.
Like there's competition.
Yeah.
You wake up every day like, man, who's going to make these calls? Like, you got to have grit. You got to show up. You got to put yourself out there, so.
Did you have some success in the wholesale game?
Not really, because I was too young and I was too young. I didn't understand marketing. Wholesaling is all marketing, and you got to have some money to back the marketing.
Yep.
I was fresh out of college.
That's what I found as well.
Yeah, literally $0. I had hustle.
Yeah.
It built my ability to. I knocked on.
We used to call it driving for dollars.
Yeah, that's how I found out about this industry. So whenever I would drive for dollars, I would put on podcasts and I would listen to those podcasts. And then one day I'm driving for dollars, put on a podcast, guys talking about mobile closing industry.
Interesting.
He's selling a course as well, so end up taking his course, and it's led me to where I'm at today.
That's wild. So I want to go back for a second. You mentioned that with the lack of, say, resources or opportunities, right, that you felt like that not only you but the black community was exposed to growing up. Did you find yourself? I know sports was always sounds like a big part of your life, right?
Oh yeah.
And so that kind of became the passion, I guess. When that was taken away from you, and you mentioned that was a dark time, right, in your life. So was there temptations to be able to go down some of these other paths that you might have seen in your own town and community, maybe even friends that were pulling you in one way?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, me and my friends doing stupid stuff, just literally going down the wrong path. And one day, I mean, I'm like,
what do you think kept you away from that enough to have a completely different life, which is
what kept me away is one day it dawned on me that I'm putting all this energy into negativity. And literally, if I just take this energy and put it into something positive, I can win.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you look at, I mean, Hitler, like, dude's
Let's get real here.
Yeah.
Let's get real, Calvin.
Let's get real. I mean, hey, we're recording. Y'all can, hey, however you feel about it. Hitler's a bad person, but he has some skills to be able to rally and influence people to do all of that. Like, it's a simple switch. Mm-hmm. He could have rallied all that for positivity.
Sure.
So, you know, I'm just saying, like, I was just going down a negative path, and you know, I was putting a lot of energy into it. So one day I'm just like, yo, why don't I just put this into something positive?
Did you grow up? What type of household did you grow up in?
Single mom. Pops died when I was 7.
Okay.
So it was just me and my mom.
And in that relationship, was that always a tight relationship? Do you feel like it was splintered in any way, or no?
I mean, my mom, tough love. You know, she did a great job. Tough love. When I was young, I didn't understand. I was always mad at her, but you know, she made
She must be proud of you now, huh?
Oh yeah. She told me today, you know, I was a little mad at her, but that's another conversation. But yeah, she told me today, yeah, she's proud of me, and I mean, tough love.
Shout out to Mrs. Darville out there. Yeah, if that's her last name, I'm not sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Shout out to you.
Yeah, you
did a good job raising this young man. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So you ended up doing this wholesaling thing. Wasn't really going great, but it kind of got you into a different direction, it sounds like, right? Mm-hmm. And then you started coming across this opportunity for mobile notary, right? Yep. What was it about that industry that was appealing to you?
I guess it was the way the guy explained it on the video. I had no clue about it. I mean, honestly, when I was driving for dollars, I called my mom. She's the only person in my family that I knew had bought a home at that point. So I'm literally like, yo, Mom, have you heard of a notary at a closing? And she's like, no. Mm-hmm. But she was like, I do remember someone being there with a stamp. And that was all I really needed, man. Like, I just took that. It was just wholesaling was so tough, like when you don't have money.
Yeah.
And this just seemed like it made a little bit more sense. And I just went all in. You know, when you're broke.
What year was that? Do you remember?
This was I graduated in 13. No, I graduated in 17. Sorry. I graduated in 2017. So this was probably about 2019. This was definitely 2019. Yeah.
So is that the year Comfortable Closing started?
2019. That was my first. I did my first closing in 2019.
Okay. Yeah. Now, so you right away started your own entity and company with Comfortable Closings, or did you work with someone else in this industry for a while?
I mean, I took the course. That was the training that I needed, and I just did it myself.
Okay. And that's when Comfortable Closing started, basically, right?
Yeah, I've always been a business owner.
Okay. Yeah. And so talk us a little bit through like the early days. So when you were starting to get this business going in 2019, 2020, what were some of the challenges that you were facing? What are some of the wins? How did that look like?
Yeah, challenges is always marketing in the beginning. Like, who knows you?
Right.
You know, so I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a notary. Okay, well, nobody knows that. So I had to start calling people. So I called this list of,
Now, you were in Tallahassee still?
I was in Tampa. I moved to Tampa, and I went all in.
Oh, so I left Tampa before you started the notary?
What?
You moved to Tampa before you started the notary business?
No, I did my first closing in Tampa. I did all the so it was kind of like the perfect point. Like I told you, I was going down this dark path, and I got out of that. And when I found out about the business, I'm like, okay, I got 2 months left on my lease in Tallahassee.
Okay.
So what I did was I took those 2 months in Tallahassee to train, get my notary stamp, go over loan documents, take the guy's course and everything.
Yep.
And then I'm like, okay, well, when I get to Tampa, this will be the perfect time to go all in. So 2 months in Tally training for it. And then when I got to Tampa, it was time to actually go out and get business.
What brought you to Tampa? Did you know people here?
My mom had moved here. So I left Tallahassee, moved in with my mom.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it really was Mama Dukes that brought you here to Tampa. And
yeah. She definitely did. Yeah.
And then you started going deep. You were mentioning your first year or two. So do you remember, was it easy for you, do you feel like, to start to get those first couple of clients, or did you find that to be really challenging?
Oh, yeah. I had to make calls. I had to make cold calls.
Who were you calling?
So companies, what I own today is called a signing service. We contract work out to notaries. So I was calling companies that did that.
Okay.
So they contract work out to notaries. I called them and said, hey, I'm a notary. I'd like to do closings for you. I took this course. I'm certified. I'll make you look good.
Yep.
So I was calling them, called like 200 of them. A couple of them hung up on me. A couple of them were like, oh, send an email. A couple of them were like, oh, yeah, definitely. We'd love to work with you. We do business in Tampa. So, just like any other business.
Makes sense. And that's how you got your first couple of clients. Now, in this industry, correct me if I'm wrong, it's more of a transactional relationship in some ways, like when you're actually going and doing the paperwork at the time of the closing, you're not necessarily getting a call back from that same homeowner at any point in the future, right?
Unless they
your
were like,
relationship is with that notary company.
essentially.
Yeah, and that's the one who's going to be sending you out to as many different people as you can, and
Yep,
that's
that
the
or a
relationship
title company. Yeah. So I started with them because the title company is like the
end all,
golden.
be all.
Yeah. Because it's like you want to do a really good job because they pay a little bit more. So essentially, what we do is if I give a notary a deal, then we take our cut out. So if I'm working with a signing service in the very beginning, they're taking a cut out of my fee. If I can get that relation, and all they're doing is getting it from the title company.
Yeah.
So if I can just skip them and go direct to title, then I get the entire thing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start with signing services. So not so I can mess up, but just like a kind of paid internship because obviously I took the course, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So you actually get out in the field and do it.
Yep.
So I started with them. And I did that for a couple months, and then I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with the documents. I feel very confident at a closing. Now I'm going to go to these title companies and start getting business directly from them.
Yep, that makes sense.
And that was
so once you did that, you also had now a little bit of a track record, right, that you could present to them, which I think would help in that conversation. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, I could just be like, hey, I've actually sat closings. I know how to, I know what a mortgage looks like. I know that a warranty deed needs 2 witnesses. I can walk the customer through a closing disclosure and Alta. I could say that before, but you can't say it with confidence.
Right. Now, in general, for people who might not know, why does a title company prefer to work with somebody like yourself rather than just providing that service themselves?
Oh, because they can't be everywhere at once. If they're a busy title company, there's title companies that do. There's title companies that do hundreds of closings, thousands of closings a month. But if they're a busy title company, they just don't have time to sit every single closing. And especially if they're trying to grow their business. So at the point of closing, everything's good. So it's just merely coming in there, getting everything signed and notarized. Everything's been sold. Everything's been ironed out. So at the time of closing, everything's good. So if a closing takes 30 minutes to an hour, that could be 30 minutes to an hour. You could be out building your business, doing a lunch, doing a networking event, doing, answering emails, answering calls for files that may be still developing or whatever, or putting fires out. But if you got to take this time to do this closing, then you can't be doing that. So that's where the notary comes into play. Also, not to mention that, people just may not be available to come to the office.
Yeah.
Like, especially if it's an investor. I'm sure you speak with investors all the time. They're buying hundreds of properties. Why do you think they don't want to drive to the title company every single time? So, they would prefer that the title company has that option for a notary to come to them. Even you as a businessman, you probably, you got podcasts, you got all these different things going on. You don't want to take time out. Like a notary could literally come here before the podcast, sit with you. You guys sit there, have it executed, and boom.
You're just ready to go.
Yeah.
No, it makes a lot of sense. So it's really a convenience factor.
Yeah.
And being able to position yourself as that additional convenience, which is something that a title company could turn around and almost market as a way to position themselves as an added value, right?
Yeah. So they tell realtors all the time, like, hey, we do mobile closings. They'll even eat the cost.
Yep.
So they'll be like, hey, we do free mobile closings. So they'll pay us directly and they won't charge the client for that. So if the client can't make it to the office for whatever reason, don't worry, we can send a notary out.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And so over the years, I know with our platform, we obviously focus on that relationship with the real estate agent, right? With real producers. And that's been our target since we really started it. We obviously have some great title companies that I know you've worked with that are part of our partner program. What's your relationship been like with the agent side of things? Is that something that has played some role in the business? How has that played out?
No, agents are great because if I have a deep relationship with an agent, then they can introduce me to a title company.
Yep.
Maybe their preferred title company that they work with because the agents are the ones who select the title company. And not to mention, if I have a deep relationship, I've introduced my clients to agents. So, I got a lot of friends who are agents. If I go to a networking event hosted by 123 Title, I'll invite my buddies, and that's the time for the title company to do their thing. Try to get them in the door.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Is there anything you feel like agents specifically should know or be aware of in terms of your business, your industry, your service that maybe is not as common knowledge in general?
Well, just know it's available. And know they have the option to select who the notary is. So, if you're an agent and you want a professional, at that table who can represent you in the best light possible, because at the end of the day, the notary is going to be representing the agent. They do have the authority to choose what notary. So if they develop a relationship with a notary and they're like, hey, this notary's professional, he's on time, he knows his stuff, or she, you know, you can request that notary be at the table for your closing. You don't have to go with the title company's notary or the title company's signing service, because a lot of times title companies partner with signing services that don't really do a good job vetting these notaries. So the notary can show up in, you know, khaki shorts and a mustard stain on his shirt.
Yeah, it might not be the impression you're trying to have.
For your
right?
$1.5 million deal, you know, and you're trying to, you know, wow this person and put that, you know, that final touch. I mean, you probably, you know, a lot of times agents are working with people for years, months, however long to get to this final thing. You know, you want it just to be.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're a top producing agent out there, who would you want going up and showing up at the closing? Some doing a mustard shirt, or my man over here dressed in fine wine.
Come on.
I mean, come on now.
I mean, hey,
this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'm not gonna do the closing unless you request me, but I'm gonna send someone who looks like me.
Which, by the way, your team, they're all well dressed.
Oh yeah,
everyone that I've met. I was joking off camera about Uncle Clark out there.
Yeah. Oh, Carl, man.
Carl, not Clark, my bad. Uncle Carl out there.
Yeah.
Dude, he comes to a lot of our events as well and does a great job.
Hey, Carl, keep me on my toes, man. I know one thing, man. If Carl's showing up, I got to come on my A game, man. Because Carl, hey, he clean.
So tell people, if they don't know, a little bit about your team. So you mentioned, I guess in the early days, you were the one showing up, right? Doing all these closings yourself. And that's evolved now as your business has grown and you've gotten your team and staff. So what's that look like now?
Yeah, so the team, so I mean, we have 10 employees. So the employees are the ones who manage the closings. So today we have 100 orders alone. So but we have 100 closings going on today alone.
Yep.
So to make sure those are going well, they are in the office making sure if the notaries has questions, documents come over last minute all the time, documents change all the time, last minute orders come all the time. So they're in the office making sure everything goes well. So that's what Carl does. That he's our lead scheduler. So essentially one of our managers in the office, and he just makes sure everything goes well. And then he also helps with business development. And then the notaries are contractors. So they don't necessarily work for me. They have their own independent businesses.
Okay.
And we just contract work out to them. And our job is to find the good ones from the bad ones.
Got it.
Because as you know, I mean, you can wake up today and be like, I want to be a notary. Doesn't take much, but to become a notary. But to actually know loan documents, it takes time.
Yeah.
And to actually care about the in person, you know, that's something that, you know, you got to understand. There's a lot of people involved. You got the agent, you got the title company, you got the lender, you got survey company, you got all these different parties involved in the transaction. So just understanding all of that from a whole, and understanding that when you're at the table that you're representing all these different parties is something that, you know, you have to grasp. Is
it true that, because sometimes things do happen at the closing table, right? I'm sure you've seen deals even fall apart right, like at the last minute.
Yeah.
Does the notary play a role in that somehow? Is that just based on their ability to explain certain things?
Yeah. So there can be, I don't want to call it a basic question, but there's common questions that, if not explained correctly, can cause a ton of confusion.
Sure.
A good example is taxes are prorated. So essentially, like if I close today, what is it? It is what, June?
Yep.
June 20th. Yeah. So if I close today and let's say I'm selling the house, as a seller, I'm responsible for the taxes from January 1st to June 20th. And that's going to be itemized on the closing statement. And if it's hard for the seller's not going to understand how to read it. Right. And they're not even going to understand the taxes in general anyways. Right. So a trained notary should be able to explain, like, hey, this right here is showing that you're only being, because they're going to think they're being charged for the year. Yeah. But if you show them correctly, be like, hey, you're only being charged from the 1st to the 20th. Those type of things hold up closing all the time if the notary is not trained on that.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I remember even when I bought my home, that was a point that came up that I was confused about at first. And then I was able to.
It's the way it's disclosed. It's not like everyone, once you explain it, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But the way the document is set up is kind of hard to digest. Yeah. Especially if you're on the buyer side, because the buyer may be being charged for June 20th to the end of the year. But if you don't explain it, they're going to think they're being charged for the whole year. They're like, why am I paying for this? I didn't own the property then. So. Yeah,
no, it makes a lot of sense. You mentioned earlier that you're closing about 100 closings even today. Is that pretty normal? I mean, what's an average day look like?
Dude, I mean, yeah, it's normal, bro. Like
about 100 a day?
Anywhere, we want to get to 100 a day. We really want to get to 150 a day. I mean, we do. The highest we've done is 2,000 closings in 1 month.
2,000 in a month. Okay.
Yeah, so
And you're serving the whole country, right?
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
just
we got
local.
clients in Ohio, Maryland. Uh, Obviously, the notaries. Yeah, we do notaries everywhere in America, even Canada as well. But our clientele: Ohio, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Georgia. So yeah, yeah, we can
Okay.
help any title company in the nation.
And so the reason why you're able to serve all these different is there like specific like licensing or
No.
anything you need so you can work
No.
in any state without
Yeah.
any restrictions?
Yeah, that's the great thing about the business.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today randomly. It was just like there's no, a lot of industries. You got all these regulations.
Yeah, like lending as an example. Like, you can't just lend everywhere. You
Yeah,
have to
we're
be
not
licensed.
regulated at all.
Right.
We have zero regulations. But it should be a good or bad thing.
If you're going to start a business, that's one thing to think about. Right?
Yeah, we have no regulations, so we could do business in Cali, literally Hawaii, anywhere we want to do business at,
So how does a market like open up to you? Is that because you just develop a relationship with a title company or a notary in that market who happens to have general business happening in that market at that time?
Yeah. Usually we develop a relationship with a title company, even lenders as well, because they can choose who the notary is.
Who's focused on that type of expansion? Is that what you focus most of your time on?
Yeah, I'm focused that's mostly what I'm focused on. Carl helps a lot with that as well. We both just flew up to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for a national title conference. It's called NS3.
Okay.
It's the biggest settlement conference for title companies. So they bring out a lot of national title companies. So we flew up there for that, and we met a ton of good leads.
Got it. No, that makes a lot of sense. How often do you go to these types of events?
This is something that we're just starting to get involved in, and it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah.
A lot of the business was built from just walking in, shaking hands, going to your events. Those were very good for us. The title companies are there. Social media has been very good for us. We do a lot of cold calling. That's been very good for us. But these conferences are, I think that's something that's going to really, really help.
No, that's awesome, man. We actually have an RP national event we should talk about if you have an interest in going. It's in Dallas, Texas, but that's going to be the first one that Real Producers is hosting for the whole country.
Nice. Yeah, I'm interested.
It's at the end of September. I think it's the last week of September. So I'm sure there are going to be title companies there as well. It's all designed.
I'm
really
sure
for
there'll be.
top
Yeah,
producers.
they would definitely be there for those agents. Yeah, that'd probably be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. So, when you work with a title company, in your experience so far, Calvin, does that title company use you ongoing from that point, or do you find it's a little bit more one-off type situations, or how's your experience been with those?
Just like any other business, sometimes we can develop those deep relationships with them where their entire office. So, if we get in the office, there's usually multiple closers. So you may have 5 or 6 closers, and if we can, it usually starts with one of the closers uses us, and then they're like, oh, they did a great job for us, and then it spreads. And if we can develop that deep relationship, I mean, I literally, probably one of my first clients, I still work with them today. So yeah.
Who's that?
They're called AMZ Title.
Okay. Where are they based out of?
They're based out of Tampa. They're right down the road. Shout out to AMZ. Shout out to Alexandra.
Alexandra
She's the
over
owner.
there. Shout out to Alexandra.
Yeah,
How many title companies do you work with?
Hundreds.
Hundreds all over the country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So obviously not every title company is built the same either, right? There's some that are national brands and some that are more regional, some that are just state or local.
Yeah, mom and pop.
And it sounds like does it matter to you who you're targeting from that standpoint? Do you have any national title companies that you work with now?
No. So, well, to answer, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we service a lot of title companies where it literally may be one title agent and she runs the whole show. So she's the only person in office. She runs the whole show. AMZ, I've watched them grow from, where it was just Alex and a couple other employees to where I think she has like 10 or 15 employees now. And then we're trying to get more into the national. So that convention had a lot of national and essentially a national title company is just a title company that's licensed in a whole bunch of different states.
Sure. Is that like a First American?
First American. There's tons of them. Yeah. And they do, and those type of
Old Republic.
Yeah, those type of title companies are doing thousands, hundreds of
all over the
closings
country,
a month.
right?
Yeah. So that's where we want to step into now.
Fidelity Title, right, would be another maybe example of that.
Yeah, Fidelity. Yeah, and those are like the biggest players. So
right.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So that's awesome, man. So I mean, it seems like there's still a huge opportunity for growth, right, within the company, within the industry as well. What's been the evolution of the company since you started in 2019? Like, what Has it grown every single year? Has there been a percentage of growth? What's that look like?
Oh, we definitely have grown every single year. I mean, the evolution was just me running around Tampa, St. Pete, Ocala. I've taken 2-hour trips, driving to Port Charlotte, 2.5-hour trips, doing closings myself, trying to freaking jam Chick-fil-A down my lungs, you know. And then we went through the refi boom. When we went through the refi boom, I was still doing closings myself. So I was literally doing 100 closings a month, leave the house at 7 a.m., don't get back till 9 p.m. every single day. Put a printer in my car and a scanner literally in my car so I can take more deals. And I did that for like 2 years.
The hustle pays off, man.
Yeah, it paid off. And then, you know, then I got one employee. He started, my first employee was my cousin. So he moved up to Tampa to work with me. And then from there, you know, we just grew it. I mean, he's still working with me today. He's the operations manager. Shout out to Andre.
I've met Andre.
You met?
I think
he
so.
did. He's come to two. He comes he comes to the big banquets. I always bring him out for those.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's that guy. You know, he's. I mean, that boy there can work. Shout out to Andre.
What percentage of your business is Tampa Bay based?
Probably at this point, probably like 65%.
So it's still a pretty high percentage.
Yeah.
So you'd say most of your business is in Florida? Is that fair?
Yeah, probably about 65% in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So where's your vision take you, man? Where's this thing going? What do you want to see happen in the next 12, 24 months?
I got big goals, man. I got big goals. I would love, so, I mean, one of the biggest players in our space, I think they grew it to where they were doing $65 million in annual revenue. And they had a sale, Stewart Title bought them.
Okay.
So he sold it to, you know, obviously a big national title company.
Yep.
So maybe a play like that'd be great. I was
going to ask you the exit strategy because, I mean, as an entrepreneur, I always find it fascinating to see what somebody might be thinking about down the road. Is the game plan potentially to be able to be bought by one of the big brands eventually? Or
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, to at least always have that on the table. Right now, what I'm focused on is just getting more I want to have more products. Okay. So I want to have I don't have a product for the notaries to purchase from us. So that'll be a new play that's coming. I've never said that anywhere.
There you go.
Yes,
it's news now.
So I want to have a product that the notaries can buy from my company, and then I want to roll out just more things, maybe some training.
So when you say new products, this is what products to make the closing process even easier?
No, this would be just different products that we offer. They would not be related to necessarily the closing process. Okay. So like, I guess it would make it easier. So like something like for the notaries, essentially to make them better at what they do.
Okay. Like a training product or something?
Yeah.
I got you. That makes sense. So providing some training content and then being able to package that content that you can sell, which makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah. So and it makes them better closers. So I mean, we work with them every single day. So you know, something they can purchase to.
What is your industry like in terms of like? Do you have any information on how many different mobile notary services are out there that do what you do? Is there a lot? Yeah. Is there a little? What's the industry look like?
There's definitely a good amount. I mean, every industry has competition. It's just like if you're not in that lane, then you don't see it. But
sure.
Every industry has competition. So we definitely have competition. Like I said, I mean,
the big dogs are doing, you said around 50-60 million annually. Is that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Fidelity Fidelity National Title, who is, from what I know, the biggest title company in America. Yeah. They own their own signing service.
Right.
So that like, I can't get in with them.
Right.
Because you can, but it's they
one-off people maybe.
Yeah, they make it very hard.
Right.
Because they try to make all their employees use that so they can make more money as a company. But I think there's regulations around it because essentially they would become a monopoly. But nonetheless, we do have competition. Just like any other industry.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And so it's interesting because I've been fascinated by the world of mergers and acquisitions really over the last, say, year and a half to 2 years as I've been trying to study that a little bit more myself, thinking about, as I mentioned earlier, we have this separate entity from Real Producers called Top Producers Nation.
Oh, nice. That's something else.
And,
is that yours?
It's our entity that we're building, which is an education platform. So it's revolving around real estate agents.
It's like another product.
It is another product. Yeah, without a doubt. Separate. So Real Producers, as you know, we don't really sell anything to the real estate agent, right? With Real Producers, everything that we have great relationships with the agent, but
you're going to sell that to them.
That's a product for the agent.
So that's something that I essentially would do. The same thing for the notaries.
Makes a lot of sense.
So we don't sell anything. We give them money. We give them business.
Yep.
But now I want to have something that I can also offer them, but it's going to bring them value.
Yeah, no, same concept. I mean, and I'm going to be talking about it more on my webinar today at 4, like the genesis of this and the story behind why we packaged what we've packaged. But ultimately, it's about, we saw an opportunity to help more agents who, as you hear me talk all the time at the panels about the numbers, right? The 24,000 licensed agents that are in the market, and
and they don't do nothing.
10,000 did 0 deals.
Same thing with notaries.
2 or less.
Yeah, I feel like everything.
I'm sure that's similar in a lot of businesses, right?
Yep.
So I just felt like there was something needed to be able to hopefully create a way to make an impact on that, right? Add some value to help more people succeed. Because I'm assuming a lot of these agents who aren't doing very much, that's not why they became an agent. They actually want to do something, right? They want to be successful.
They just need the guidance.
Right.
You know, like
there's some things missing.
When
to
I
help
was
them get
wholesaling, I didn't close a deal, but I needed guidance.
Right.
I needed the right training.
Don't we all, brother? Don't we all? So yeah, no, I can relate. I love the entrepreneurial spirit behind it. And I was bringing this up because of the merger acquisitions thing. And I was curious in this business that you're in, one of the things I've really been intrigued by is this idea of like what they call roll-ups, where you partner up with another, say, same size company or even smaller than you. Yeah. But you basically buy their book of business, right? And you merge that into yours. And it's one way that a business could double, triple their size overnight, Have you seen any of that type of thing in your business too, in your industry?
Yeah, they'll buy smaller signing services and essentially grab their book of business. Sure. Something that I've definitely thought about. And I mean, I'll probably end up doing, buy out like a smaller service and, just grab their book of business.
Totally, man. So a couple things. We're running out of time here, but I want to give a couple people on the personal side, for people who might not know your story. We've talked about your story already a little bit, but not married yet, right? No family yet. I know you got a girlfriend.
I ain't married.
I've seen your beautiful girlfriend on posts that
she's out there. Shout out to Sky.
Shout out to Sky.
So y'all ladies, don't be sliding in my DMs. You got
a good one here, Sky.
Let him know.
Don't be sliding in his DMs people.
Hey, man. Come on now. Let's keep it real.
Property over here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sky. But you guys have been together for a while now?
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years.
She's putting that pressure on me, too, dog.
How old are you now, Calvin?
I'm 30.
You're 30. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
30.
Hey, man, I got married at 32. So you got a couple.
I got a couple years left. So, hey, you heard Don said I got to 32.
I'm sorry, Sky. I should have said that. But I did date Lauren for 7 years before we got married.
See,
so
4. I got 3 years left.
Now we have 6 kids, Sky. So hold that.
Go.
Just hold that.
Let's go.
It might work out for you. But what do you guys love to do for fun when you're just jamming and not working so hard?
For fun, I mean, she enjoys food. She loves food. So
Sky's a foodie.
Yeah, she's definitely a foodie. I'm a foodie too, but like when you're in business, man, I just want it to be simple. Like, I'm not trying to think too much, quick. But when I get some time, I definitely enjoy a good meal, different food, nice restaurant, nice experience. So we definitely love to go out and try a new restaurant. Tampa has a ton of them, so
that's for sure. Yeah, plenty of things. A couple of rapid fire questions for you, right? If you have a favorite book, author, seminar maybe that you've attended, and I think from your perspective, this is neat too, because in many ways, I have to think that you're a role model to people in your community, right? Yeah. The fact that you've built a business, an entrepreneur. I'm sure, as you said earlier, like there's maybe a lot of young African-American men who would love to do what you've done, and maybe they just don't know how or haven't seen that connection or don't have the support or whatever. So is there a favorite resource that you feel like has really helped guide you and getting your thinking, elevating your thinking, which is, I know, is something that you care a lot about. What's a book or something that you've used that's helped you?
Well, I'll say this, my favorite book, and with books, the thing is like, as you grow, you can kind of grow with the book. So books will hit you different at different points in your life.
Sure.
So my favorite book currently is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Yeah, it's a great book. And if I read that book early on in my entrepreneurial journey, I don't know if it would have hit me the same as now, because I look at things much different and I've had so many different experiences. So I wouldn't really recommend that to someone who's early on. I say early on, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like if you're very early on and you're just trying to like understand business and understand passive income
what
and
is an asset, what's a liability?
Assets, liabilities, I'd probably say Rich Dad Poor Dad. But if you're someone who's a little bit more seasoned, my favorite book is Outwitting the Devil. I always turn to that book. That's great.
I just read that book. It was recommended by Russell Brunson, the dude that started ClickFunnels.
Yeah.
And so I've been really digging into his content lately because of this program and our webinar format and everything. And he's the one that actually talked about it. And I never heard of it at the time. I've heard of Napoleon Hill. I mean, he's my uncle. So, I mean, I had to him. But I didn't know that book for whatever reason. Everyone thinks of Think and Grow Rich, right? That's the famous Napoleon Hill book. Not as many people know about that one.
Think and Grow. Oh, Outwitting. Yeah, no one knows about it. Everyone knows about Think and Grow Rich,
right,
which is a good one too, though.
Which is his classic, right?
Yeah.
But that is such a great book that he also wrote, Outthink the Devil. So definitely highly recommend people checking it out.
Yeah, I'm reading Good to Great right now. Have you read that?
I have. It's been a while though.
That one was definitely good for business owners, I think.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about the little things that make little tweaks here or there and optimize this or that, and the business could skyrocket because of it. It's like studying the businesses that popped.
Yeah, putting people in the right positions.
Yep. That's having the right seat on the bus, right? Isn't that the language that they use there?
Something like that.
Yeah. No, it's a good book for sure. We'll have to talk more about, I'm a big business book reader myself, so being able to share some of those resources is something that we're passionate about.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
Favorite movie or TV show? TV show, man. I mean, I don't really watch much TV, but now that I've been watching a little bit of TV. I watched this Pop the Balloon. You probably haven't heard of it, but it's on YouTube because eventually YouTube is, essentially YouTube is TV now.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
Like cable's over with. Do you have
Pop
cable?
the Balloon? Is that no, I don't. I use Roku.
Yeah, so cable's over with. But it's on YouTube. Pop the Balloon, black-owned show. Is
that a channel?
Arlette. Her name is Arlette. Okay. Shout out to her. I mean, she doesn't need my shout out because she has like 1 million subscribers. And that literally Netflix copied it.
Okay.
So you can go, if you just type it in on Netflix, they made their own version of it.
Huh.
Yeah, so
is it a comedy or what's it about?
It's just it's so funny, man. It's so what they do is like so it's like a dating show. So they would get a lineup of girls.
Okay.
They'd probably get like 6 or 9 girls.
Okay.
And they would give each girl a balloon.
Okay.
And then they would
I've seen this.
Yeah, and the girl would come out.
Yeah.
And she would bring one guy at a time.
Based on how the dude looks, they just pop the balloon. Yeah.
No,
I didn't know that was the name of the show.
No, it's funny, man. It's funny, and it's just funny, like looking at like I'm always looking at like human tendencies and thing, and it's like when I watch that show, and I've watched a lot of episodes, the only thing that really matters in the beginning is how you look.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you have to say.
The show is how superficial.
Yeah, people are very superficial.
Really
because there was like a girl on there,
like a couple questions. Yeah, and like the guy will answer the first question a certain way, and more balloons pop. And it's like
yeah, no, there was a girl on there, and she was like talking about the whole show. She's like, "Oh, I want a Christian." And this guy comes out, and he was like an ugly dude, but he was Christian.
Yeah,
and she pops his balloon, and then this big jack dude comes out, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm spiritual, but I'm not Christian." She's like, "Oh, well, we can work on it."
Shows you where the priorities really are, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, pop the balloon. So now that I think I've had it.
So fellas,
my algorithm somewhere.
My tip to the fellas: get jacked, and it don't matter no more.
That is funny. That is funny. All right. Well, we're gonna put a bow on our episode. If somebody wanted to reach out to you, Calvin, and just talk to you about your business, talk to you about your journey. Maybe somebody was inspired by the stuff that what you shared today.
Yeah.
And they'd love to follow your path in some way. What's the best way to reach you?
Calvin Darville on all social media platforms. Not hard to find me. Calvin Darville, and then Comfortable Closings on all social media platforms if you want to go through our business page. Pretty simple.
Very cool. Yeah. Last question I got for you is what I call our legacy question. So this is that now, who knows, maybe you get married to Sky and have some more Calvins running around the house, and you think back many, many years from now, hopefully, and you're sitting on that rocking chair and you're thinking about what legacy you would want to be most remembered for, right? What would be most important to you in terms of what you'd want to be most remembered for, personally or professionally? What are some thoughts?
For me, man, that's easy. So, I want to impact the Black community and let, young Black boys, men, women as well, know that you can be Black and make it in business, because a lot of Black people are intimidated by the factor of that. And they also think that they have to change the way they act. You can be yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need to educate yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need to learn skills, sales, marketing, whatever. But you can be yourself and, make financial freedom for your family.
Yeah, man, that's huge. I love that. And do you do anything right now with any causes or organizations where you can?
Not yet, man. I really want to get into it. It's just making time and trying to balance everything. But that's no excuse.
You have a lot of black men who work in your team, right? Of your employees.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Are most of them from that demographic?
Yeah. So yeah. Yep. I mean,
so you're making an impact there just from who you're hiring and teaching and them being around you. They're learning what you've done to scale. So that in and of itself is making an impact.
Yeah. If you want to come work for me, you can do that as well.
Hey man, it was great to have you on the show. I'm sure we'll have to have you some other time. I feel like there's other things we can talk about, just about entrepreneurship in general, because I always respect somebody, especially a young man like yourself, who I know it wasn't easy to get to where you are, and those early years are always more challenging. We probably could have spent more time just on that and the struggles that you had to overcome, and I admire that and respect anybody who's been able to do that. So shout out to you and to everybody over at Comfortable Closings who's been building a great brand. You guys have a great reputation already, and I think the future is really bright about what you guys are doing. So it's cool to see.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no doubt. It was our pleasure. Let's go. So we're going to end with a challenge to the audience, the way we always do, which is to simply say that if you're listening or watching this live on any of our YouTube channels or Facebook, or you're listening in on the 15 plus podcast platforms that we're on, what is one action step that you can take today that's going to help propel you forward based on this conversation that Calvin and I just had? If you just listen to these types of episodes and then don't do anything different, nothing's going to change. And if you want to change, you have to make the change happen by taking action. And sometimes it's just one little thing. It could just be reading a book like Calvin recommended. Napoleon Hill, for example, might be a great book for you to pick up, Outwitting the Devil. Or maybe it's Think and Grow Rich, or maybe you're somebody who's been kind of struggling about, I want to run my own business, but I don't really know what kind of work I want to get into. Maybe it's this industry. I'm sure Calvin wants more competitors in his industry, but maybe you want to join one or start one, or maybe you just want to work with someone like Calvin to learn, how he scaled it and learn, from somebody like him on how you might be able to have that type of future for yourself. Whatever it might be. Maybe you're a title company out there who can see yourself feeling comfortable being represented by this fine-looking gentleman over here in his organization. You just have to have a conversation about their program and how that works. But do something, right? Take action today to propel yourself forward personally and professionally. And if you're an agent out there who follows us, if you don't already, by the way, subscribe by clicking the button below. That way you'll be notified every time a new episode drops, because we do drop episodes weekly with our show. And we will be at our webinar live today at 4 o'clock. So go to topproducersnation.com and you can register there to be able to hop on at 4 p.m. today and learn how to generate an additional $300K in GCI over the next 12 months with 4 proven principles that come from patterns we've noticed from top producers all over the country that we've interviewed. So hopefully we'll see you on the webinar. And if not, we'll see you on our next episode of the Top Producers Nation podcast. See you then.